everyone, welcome back here to Busy Bee Budgets. Thanks ever so much for stopping by and for all your lovely comments and liking the videos and stuff. It really helps, A, to keep like the momentum going, and B, it's just really helpful to hold yourself accountable. And I guess today's going to be one of those videos because in an ideal world I'll be making a different type of video about my sinking funds, but you know, kind of the whole point of this is about being honest and transparent, and I could sort of slightly fudge it, but I'm not going to, and I'm going to talk to you. So those of you who joined me in February know that I stuffed around, I think it was over £2,000 in the end once I'd added my side hustle money, and I'm very lucky to be able to stuff that amount of money into my sinking funds. And this month I'd actually added a couple of extra sinking funds. So I've got my financial goals, which is for the future, and we'll talk about like that quite a lot today. House, for anything I want done around the house, improvements, replacements, those types of things. Car, for car maintenance and insurance. Emergency fund for the obvious. Christmas gets 100. Vets I wanted, which was a new category this month, I wanted to stuff 54. Travel and experience was due to get 350. I wasn't going to stuff anything into treats because that is one that I want to stuff from like side hustle income or other stuff, and that's just my big, if I want to splurge on myself, that's where that sinking fund is going. And clothes, I've decided that this year I would like to only buy clothes from the money that I make from selling my old clothes, if that makes sense. So it's basically like a cost neutral kind of thing. So I'm not going to be stuffing it, but there will be money. So I don't stuff it for my budget, but there will be money in my folder, if that makes sense to you. But actually, like today, so I was due to be stuffing 2,150 into my sinking funds, but today I'm actually only going to be stuffing £200, which I'll come on to a bit. And the main thing is because over the last month, like an amazing opportunity came up for me to buy a business that I really loved and I had used and I just really wanted to be a part of. Now I'm not going to kind of say how much I spent on the business because obviously I'm buying it from someone else and it's not fair for them to have their kind of transactions out there in the internet, but it just means that all my available cash I'm having to use to fund that purchase. So although I was supposed to be putting away 2,150, I need to use the vast majority of that money to help fund the purchase for the business. Now I'm hoping that really quite soon, certainly by later in the year, that business will be making me an extra side hustle income. So it's money well invested from my perspective, but it's just this month that basically I just need to fund it. So I'll go back to doing sinking funds from April, and they'll be part of my April budget, but it's just this specific month I'm not going to stuff these figures. So what I am going to do is stuff £200, and that the two ones that are going to get it are my emergency fund and Christmas, because I think those are the two most important. I don't want to kind of, it'd be easy, really easy in March to kind of skip over and not stuff this month, but I really want to. And similarly for emergency, I think it's probably just useful to kind of have it in my back pocket should I need to. Now, I'm not going to stuff car, but my car is going for its MOT tomorrow, but I've prepaid for it. So I'm hoping that, fingers crossed, nothing needs doing, and that what I've paid already out of last month's sinking fund kind of covers it. But if not, I'll move something from emergency across. But that's kind of my plan. And yeah, everything else I'm just kind of leaving as is. And what I will also be doing is pulling out some money from my sinking fund. So in financial goals, which is one of my largest ones, I've got £1,000 in the bank. And I've also, I think, got 200 in cash. So 20, 40, 60, 80. 20, 40, 60, 82. So what I'm going to do with this money is use it to help fund that business purchase. So I'm going to actually take these out of sinking funds. So my financial goals will go back to zero to help fund that purchase. So I'll pop that over there and I'll update my trackers in a moment. Home has still got, I think, 320 in it. So 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 320. So I'm going to leave home as it is. As I said, nothing in car because I paid for it last month. I've got 100 in my emergency fund, I believe. 20, 40, 60, 81. Christmas has got 100 in it. 20, 40, 60, 81. Nothing in vets. I'll start stuff for that this month, but next month rather, but she's not got anything planned. Experiences has got nothing, but I'm happy to kind of do without this month because of what else we're doing. Nothing in treats. Clothes has got 50, which is the 50 that I started from last month's budget that I'm just now going to leave. And then I've got some money to go back to the bank there. So I should have 200 stuff here. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 120. And then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So for once, I've actually counted the cash right, which is just amazing, isn't it? Because if you watch my videos, you know that I'm shockingly bad at that. So that's 200. So we're just going to stuff 100 into Christmas, 100 into emergency because that's the first one. So 20, 40, 60, 81. And then the remaining, which should be another 100. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 into Christmas. So I'll update my trackers in a bit. But that kind of feels like the right solution to me. And as I say, I'm going to take this money from the financial goals because like buying the business is part of my financial goals. So my financial goals are obviously to try and achieve financial independence within the next few years. It's to diversify my income streams, so away from just having my main salary, which obviously is incredibly generous, but it will be good to be investing in other things. And this side hustle for me is a real passion project and something I will love doing. So the kind of the money's like an added bonus. And as I say, I think it's like well worth the investment I'm making. And I mean, it's only going to be a few days between me paying for the business and then my next income. So really kind of like the risk I'm taking is very, very minimal by clearing out some of these sinking funds. So I'm comfortable with that as an approach. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So that's kind of why this month's a bit different. So obviously what I'll do is reduce these down. So I put 100 in emergency and 100 in Christmas, and then everything else hasn't happened. But from when I do April's budget, which I probably need to start thinking about pulling together, they will go back in and will be a priority like for me to stuff. And obviously any other side hustle money I make this month will also kind of go into those sinking funds stuff because my day-to-day is still taken care of. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. Appreciate it's a bit of a random decision to make and a bit risky, particularly having done cash stuffing for a couple of months, but I'm really comfortable with it and I think it's going to be a really exciting time. So thank you for sticking around for what was a very short cash stuffing of sinking funds and more just a general ramble about my life. But I hope you stay safe. It's like a horrible world out there at the moment. And I know what we're talking about, like money and income and can seem kind of trivial, but I guess for me it's about creating the life that I want, and life is short and life is fleeting, and I want to have the best options available to me and my family to be able to do what we want when we want, and kind of cash stuffing and sinking funds and diversifying income all kind of plays into that for me. So it might seem a bit trivial, but yeah, I think it is important that we all like live the lives that we want to live, because we never know what's happening around the corner. So sorry, that got a bit deep and meaningful towards the end. I hope you're okay and I hope you stayed with me, and I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be my week 3 variable cash stuffing, and we'll kind of see how we got on from there. So lovely to see you again. Take care and I'll see you soon.